Hey everybody, today we're going to make this pretty little box. It can be used as a gift box. It's got plenty of room. It measures 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, I think. We're going to make this box using designer series paper from the Garden Lane Sweep as our background paper. We're going to use mint macaron as the paper cardstock for our box. We're going to have a piece of early espresso cardstock measuring 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. And then we're going to use one of the cards that comes from the Magnolia Lane Memories and More card pack. Inside here are all sorts of images and beautiful backgrounds and cards that you can use for notes, even gift card, to make gift cards out of. I think I'm going to be doing some of those here pretty soon. And then we're going to use this sticker. This also came out of the Memories and More pack. We're going to stamp Happy Birthday on there. We also have two Magnolia buds, and this image comes from the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. It's a 2-box stamp set, so you're getting a lot of images. This is beautiful. Everybody is loving this stamp set. And then once we get that colored, we are going to use the Big Shot, which Stampin' Up! Does not carry anymore, but that is the tool that we're going to use to cut these out using this die from the Magnolia Lane Suite. Okay, so that's a good introduction there. Let's do some coloring. The colors that we're going to use are light Calypso Coral, light Petal Pink, light So Saffron, and light Old Olive. And then we're going to use Wink of Stella to color the overall flower, and then we're going to highlight with this Champagne Mist shimmer paint. So let's get started and color these. So I started Stampin' Up! About 3 years ago, and I have tried off and on to get my business rolling, and it seems that every single time I try, I run into some sort of roadblock or challenge coming from just who knows where. So here I am starting again and getting motivated to do videos, and the videos are going to be raw because I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to try to be nervous or anything like that, and kind of take the pressure off myself a little bit and not try to be so perfect. And I think just being myself, I think that I'll do a little bit better. So I do love paper crafting. I love making the boxes and the cards, and I love the reactions that I get from people when they do receive a gift or a card from me. And that's just something that I like about this craft. It's not that expensive that you can't make several projects and give them out to people that you love. And really, I kind of have thought about just, when you go out to eat at a restaurant or something and you get an exceptional experience, along with the tip, give them a little 3x3 note card that says thank you for everything that you did. And I know waitressing is a hard job. I've only bussed tables. I've never done waitressing work, but my mother was a waitress for many, many years, and she worked so hard. And it would be interesting to see how many miles she walked doing that job. So okay, so we're done with our coloring. Now we're just gonna fill out the whole thing with the Wink of Stella. And just go over it generously if you can. I think it's close to time for me to replace my Wink of Stella pen. I'm thinking just about out. I do use it quite a bit. Okay, now let's grab the Big Shot and cut these little images out. I do know that Stampin' Up! Has retired the Big Shot. They are not carrying it anymore. But they are still selling dies, and they are still selling embossing folders. And I just hope that they come out with something else, maybe something fabulous. But I have to tell you, there are a lot of good cutters. I don't know what you would call these mechanisms like this. And there's electronic cutters out there. There's a Brother Scan and Cut, which I have one, and I love it. But some of Stampin' Up's dies emboss, and like the Catch of the Day or Best Catch stamp set, that's sweet. When you cut out the large trout, the die cuts out the little fish fins, so you get special features by using Stampin' Up's dies. So we're going to put that away now. We're done with that. And we are done with this Big Shot. Now I noticed when I cut this image that I didn't quite cut it on. I think my die slipped a little, so all I'm gonna do is just trim off all the excess white. It's no big deal. You just cut it off and keep going. It's not the end of the world. You don't have to restamp it. You don't have to recut it. It's just take a couple of extra seconds and just clean it up a little bit. See, that didn't take too long. I'm going to get this one last little piece here. Anyway, back to growing my own business, growing this business. I do have, this thing with being timid, and I also sell myself short on a lot of abilities that I have, and I just think, no, I can't do it. So I'm gonna get over those things. I had a career in the entertainment industry in California, and there were a lot of times when someone said boo to me, I just lost it, because I was afraid and timid and etc. But I got out there and I worked in the park. And I got over it. You got to go out there and force yourself to talk to people and just do it. Okay, so we're going to do some scoring on our cardstock. This is a full sheet of mint macaron cardstock, 8.5 by 11. We're going to score it at 1.5 on both sides. Flip it and turn it. I got this box pattern from Angie Judah. Angie is my upline, or my boss, if you will. She is pretty amazing. I think every time I do a video, I have to just say how wonderful she is. Okay, now on the landscape side, we're going to do, let's see, our first score is going to be at 1.5. Our next score is going to be at 5.25. Then we're going to go 6 3/4. And 10.5. Alright, so we're done with the scoring board. That is the simplest scoring tool or scoring board is one of the large tools that Stampin' Up! Did keep in the catalog or this upcoming sales period. The other thing that they kept, which I'm so glad, was the stamparatus. There are some stamps that I just don't have a steady enough hand to stamp with, so I love the stamparatus for that. So we're just scoring and burnishing on all the score lines that we made, and this is going to give us a cleaner, more crisp box. And then once we get this done, we're going to do some cutting. And let's see, where's the score line? There it is. Okay, so looking at your cardstock and all your score lines, you want this 1/2 inch piece to be at the top when you're facing it. And you see these two little rectangles here, those you're going to cut off. So just cut those completely off. Take your time cutting. There's no rush, and it will help you have a cleaner, nicer box. Okay. And then I take a little corner off here and a little corner off here. And this just helps you insert this tab down into your box. Another thing I do is I take off a little bit on this corner, and then I cut on the tabs. We're going to be cutting these little tabs out. Take a little off of this corner and take a little off this corner. The reason you do that is if you look at this box here, this is one that I made earlier, I failed to cut off a corner of the tab, and so I wound up where you can see this, and I'm glad I did it so that I could give you an example of what was going on with it. So that's why you want to cut some off of your corners, or off of your sections. Okay, now we don't have to cut anything off of this section because it won't show. So you can save yourself some time there. You do not have to cut off anything there. Then we're going to come down here to our next section, and we're going to cut a little here and cut a little bit there. And then flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. This box, gosh, it's big enough where you can put, you know, candy or crafting supplies, like for, you know, like a snail or a spool of ribbon or something like that would be, you know, you could get a couple of those in there if you wanted to do that. And then, or even a Tombow adhesive or just anything. You can make a masculine box and put, you know, candy, or like my husband loves Reese's peanut butter cups. So, you know, it's versatile. It's a large enough box. It's versatile to do things with. I was thinking about maybe making some gift tags, you know, and putting a section in here and some gift tags over here, and I don't know, some other, maybe a cute little note card section over there. So, we have a good project to come. So now we have our tear and tape. We're going to put this adhesive on each one of these tabs. And you need to be fairly generous with this because you do want your box to be sturdy. You do want your box to hold together. So we're going to put just enough. What's the matter, Jack? My puppy came to visit and say hello. I know. It's playtime for him. He always gets good playtime before bedtime. So you might hear him whine a little bit more. But yes, I know. I'll get to you in just a minute. You're just gonna have to be patient. I know. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna take these off. And this is the take your pick tool, and we're just going to use the pointy end, and that is sharp. So we can just get under that adhesive backing and peel it up. I hear you. I hear you. I'll be with you in just a minute, sugar. I love my puppy. He is, he's not certified. He's probably more of a mutt than anything, but I would say he's very close to a Chorkie. He's a little dog that I just happened to wind up getting. He's from Cherry Valley, Arkansas, which probably most of y'all don't know where that is, but that's okay. It's a sweet little town. Okay, so then we're gonna just bring the sides up to form that portion of your box. Then bring this one in to here. And this one in to here. You see? It's a lot easier than it looks, right? Then pull that in. And there's your cute box. Now let's decorate it. So I cut out designer series paper using this pattern here. The Garden Lane designer series paper is, to me, is just all background papers, and they are beautiful. I would say my favorites are this one, and this one, and that one. The rest of them are beautiful too, but those are my favorites. Okay, so let's piece together a box. So we're going to use the Tombow glue. It's a multi-purpose liquid glue. You don't have to use a whole lot of it. What I do, I cover a lot of surface area, but I put it on very thin. I don't put it on real heavy. I just put it on over the whole thing sparingly, and it sticks. It's a really good multi-purpose glue. We're going to do the same here, so just lightly, but over a large area. Okay. Look at me shaking. Okay, now we'll put our sides, and some of the DSP, when you're applying it, because you can use anything you want, any color you want for this box, just make sure that when you're cutting your paper with the design on it, that if your flowers or your images need to face up, make sure that when you cut it, that when you get it to your box to put on, that it will face the right direction. So you just have to pay attention to that. Okay. Now that's our last piece of the background paper. Now we're going to decorate it. So I got this note-size card out of the Memories and More Magnolia Lane card set, and I like it with this mint macaron, even though there's no mint macaron in the design. But I didn't like it just sitting on top of it that way, so I decided to add some early espresso. And so what we'll do here is we will glue this piece onto here, and it makes the box even more, the box top, even more sturdy. Now, so we'll decorate this piece before we put it on the box. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp with the happy birthday stamp. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what stamp set this came out of, but it is a current stamp. I will find out and let y'all know what that is. We are going to use the Mossy Meadow Stampin' Pad, the Mossy Meadow ink. It's a juicy one. I haven't used it much. And I'm going to do my level best to get this on there and centered and as perfect as I can. So stamp that on, and that's pretty darn good. Okay, so that's all we're going to need out of this stamp set. Oh, by the way, when I stamped these images, I used the Memento ink. There are two black inks out there. There's the Memento ink, and then there's the StazOn ink. The Stampin' Blends won't smear this ink. And then if you want to use the StazOn ink for the Stampin' markers, StazOn would be the compatible black ink for those. I think that makes sense. And then we have the watercolor pencils, which I have to kind of think on that and check in to see, do you use StazOn or do you use Memento? So I will find out. I have some homework to do, don't I? So this is a sticker, and obviously we don't really want to put this down on our box. In fact, we're going to pop it up with some dimensionals. So I use my little powder puff. This is what you use to get oil off of your cardstock when you're getting ready to emboss something. But I also use it on here, on the back side of stickers that I want to use as an embellishment, to take the sticky away. Alright, and so then I just kind of wipe off the excess because we want our dimensionals to stick. Now we'll put our dimensionals on there. 1, 2, 4. If you want, you can put one in the center. This is just my sample. I don't think it's necessary right now. And then we're going to place this on here. Like so. Then I'm going to pop up this too with some dimensionals. And probably most of you know, use all of these extra, just because it's not the little hexagon shape, use all of this, don't throw that away. Because I think most of us as crafters, we save our scraps and extra pieces, and we're creative and find cool things to do with all of that. Well, I've got to clean out my stash. I am like really accumulating a lot of stuff. Okay, so now that goes right on top there. And there are little flowers you can arrange as you wish. I kind of like putting them on this way. Let's see, and we're going to put those on with dimensionals. You know me, I like things to pop up. So here and there, just to make sure that it stays nice and sturdy. Here. And the next one, let's see, it's going to go right about there, so our dimensional is going to be here, right there. Now, I would say that this is pretty good, but I kind of have a new toy, and that is this shimmer paint. The color we're using here is Champagne Mist. It's a lot like the Wink of Stella, but it's amped up a little bit, and it's looks like it's going to be great. Looks like it's going to cover up your image. We're going to shake it just a tad more. But it dries clear, and it gives you a more robust painting of glitter on your image. So just paint it on anywhere that you want a little extra glimmer, a little extra pick me up. This image is already beautiful. You really don't need a whole lot of extra on it, but I'm a glitter girl. I like things to shine and be pretty. I wish I could, the rose gold, they had a rose, oh, here it is. This came with a limited edition stamp set and paper, designer series paper set. And I wish we could use this in other projects, but it's discontinued. I mean, I can use it in my everyday projects, but when I'm showing projects for customers to see how they work and everything, I really can't demonstrate that. So there's our box, plain and simple. Thank you for joining me tonight, and if you need anything, oops, I forgot a step. Let's do one more thing. If you need anything, this is my website, rondalewis.stampinup.net. There is an email option on there, so if you have any questions, you can email me, and I will answer those for you. I'm just going to put some of that shimmer paint on the seed pod of these little magnolia flowers. Now that's it. Alright, so thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye.